Hello and welcome to my channel. A baby is on the way. My baby. Well, Adam and I's baby. And our surrogate Jess, who is carrying thy baby for us. This is a team effort. Been a lot of cooks in the kitchen to get this little guy cooked, for sure. But I went to Instagram because I get DMs all day asking me questions about this journey, about the baby, about all that. Some of them are burning, some of them are juicy, some of them are wildly inappropriate, and I am gonna answer them all for you today. Let's jump into it. What has been your favorite part of the process thus far? And this one might be a little bit selfish, babe. I really enjoy not being pregnant. I've been pregnant twice in my life. Back in 2014, I was so young, and 2016, and I get this thing called hypermesis gravidarum. So I can't even ingest water. So the 2 times that I was pregnant that led up to my miscarriages, I was like in and out of the hospital, like lost 30 pounds in a month, insane migraines, no electrolyte balance, all of this stuff. So not being pregnant has been really, really cool. I think the other thing that I've really enjoyed is because my pregnancies were super traumatic and super not good, and I have all my health issues. It's been really enjoyable knowing that the woman Jess, who also you should follow on Instagram, Suro Jess, she's starting an account there. She's been having a really awesome time communicating with you guys, and you guys have been so nice. Thank you. But she's had really good pregnancies, nothing scary. So just knowing that it's in someone's hands whose body is really able to tolerate this has brought just like so much peace. This person says they're diagnosed with PCOS in the last year and don't know if they can have kids. What should they watch out for? I was always told that I had PCOS, but then I had a full body scan and I didn't have cysts. The only thing that I have that points to PCOS is weight around my stomach and insulin resistance. But I also found out that my insulin resistance is simply because I have too much visceral fat around my pancreas and that my diabetes would go into remission. Selena, why haven't you done that? Well, I have a horrible relationship with food. Great, yeah, I'm working on it. But if there's something for you to look out for that I would suggest right now is talking to your doctor and getting your A1C checked and seeing what your sugars are at. A lot of people, once they go on metformin and they're just regulating their sugars, tend to get pregnant really quick. That did happen to me with my second pregnancy. What is the most exciting part that you're looking forward to becoming a mom? All of it. I am one of those girls who growing up, you know, in school, they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do when you grow up? Da 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 da. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to have a bunch of kids. I wanted to be a mom. I have the best mom, and she went above and beyond for holidays. Like, that's what I love the most. Like, just like those things that you look back and you're like, well, my mom was awesome and did this. And my mom got sick when I was really young, which was really, really hard. And I am just really looking forward to, do you know what? Building a strong person. I'm looking forward to the experiment of raising this young man and hopefully future kids in such a conducive environment to be exactly who they are and to strive to live without trauma, hopefully. Of course everybody gets some trauma, but it's not that I want to hyper protect them, but I want to create strong kids. I want to be a mix of super soft cigarette mom. Okay, I live on a farm. It's gonna be a doozy. Do y'all have names picks out, and will the nursery be gothic styled? I love that you know who I am deep inside. Don't think that I haven't thought about it. So little man is named, and it's really funny because I like very strange names, very obscure names, very different names that you wouldn't hear. Like, there was no keychain for me growing up. I'm Selena with a C. It's not even a different name, but like, I just enjoy different names. Adam, on the other hand, likes real mainstream names. Like, our first name that we liked was Noah, and I did like Noah. The name that we ended up going with is not common. I feel like it's more popular as of the last like 5-10 years. I love his name. It's also the only name that we agreed on. And I saw that there were questions asking for a hint. All I can say is his name is going to make a really cool country music star name. And there isn't a country music star with this name, but I'm just saying it just sounds like a country music star name. Well, I'm excited. It's cool because it's a way for us to kind of connect because he's not in my body. Was it hard finally deciding on surrogacy after everything that you guys went through? That's such a deep question because in a way, and I'm gonna be really transparent and really honest here, it felt like not giving up, maybe in a way giving up. I didn't want to feel like I was cheating, which is also such a strange way, but I've always promised to be really transparent with you guys. I also knew what came with surrogacy and how people would react in both the positive and the negative, because I feel like a lot of people like really don't understand how surrogacy works, and that's something that I've really noticed in these questions, and we're also going to get into that. I decided a few years ago, I spent my whole entire, early 20s really focused on just trying to have a baby and going through everything and spending all my money on all of it and going through all of that. And I decided I was done because it became my identity and I just felt like I wasn't a person. And, you know, I just didn't know what I was doing in life. And the truth is I found TikTok and I found all you guys, and the hole inside of me filled up with your love. Sorry, but it filled up with your love. And I just realized, like, I just am not gonna have kids. That's just who I am. And I wanted to be more of an advocate for people where they're like, oh no, it'll work out for you. And I was like, no, sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay too. And that's who I decided I was going to be. But then I remember, you know, celebrities were using surrogacy, and, you know, I hate saying that that's what pushed me into it. It wasn't. It was a lot of people's personal journeys and looking deeper into surrogacy, and then reaching out to someone who I'm really excited to talk about, which is CFC Families. I love them. They're the surrogacy agency that helped me, and I reached out to them and they were so quickly receptive to talk to me about everything and how they explained it. It was such this beautiful journey and this connection of womanhood and this connection of building families, and it just got rid of every, not that I had taboo feelings about it, but every cautionary tale, every weird thought you've heard or thing you've heard in the media. It got rid of all of that, and meeting with, you know, these amazing women, meeting Leah and Robin and everyone in there, and it was incredible. And they just said, you know, it is this amazing thing, and there are these women who are amazing. They know how amazing having children are, and they want to help, and it took my breath away. It was amazing. And I honestly, if you are thinking about being a surrogate, please look into CFC Families. Here's the website right here. You can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Facebook, you can find them on everywhere. And I remember just telling her, sitting and talking to her and just saying, like, I am broken of this. We have been through so much, and I just want something to happen. You know, this is my last chance. And I remember also, you know, speaking to Leah there, I said, like, I think I'm going to use a donor egg because I am so scared of going through IVF because I have bad anxiety, my hormones, like I don't want to become imbalanced. And she just told me, she's like, it is not as bad as you think. And, you know, just try it. And she talked me into it. And I am forever thankful to her because that would have made everything even a longer process. Truth be told, I was just convinced and thought like Adam and I would not have a genetic child of our own. And that even didn't really matter to me that much. But adoption in any way is really hard. And we looked into it around here and it's just, I don't want to say it's impossible because it's not, but it just, for us, it seemed that there was a lot of like foster to adopt and stuff like that. And I had a friend whose aunt did that, and she had this little girl from birth till she was about 4, and then the mom came back into her life and she wasn't going back to obviously the life that she was used to. And like, I don't physically think I can mentally handle that, and I hate saying that, but do I want to foster? I think that'd be awesome. And if adoption happened, that would be really cool. But the truth is now I do have a bunch of eggs, and we'll see if we do this again. We'll answer that question in a minute. So curious about the egg retrieval part. I was told I had to lose 40 pounds to do it. So that can vary on clinic. I thought I was gonna have to lose weight to do it, but I think maybe I was cusp. I think it has to do with how the medications affect on your body and stuff like that. You know, there's never anything wrong with getting healthier, but different clinics have different rules. So you can always get a second opinion, but the process like really wasn't that bad. I was so scared. The injections, they burned a little bit, but I wasn't as mentally wonky as I thought I was going to be. And I really want to be an advocate for that because some people do have bad, you know, things. And if there was someone who was going to go bad, it was going to be me, and it wasn't, which was fantastic. So just know it is not as bad as you think it's gonna be. You're pregnant since when, girl? This is the thing that is so crazy. It doesn't matter how many times I say surrogacy. It doesn't matter how many times I explain to people that I'm not carrying a baby. People think I'm physically pregnant, and I think it's because I'm like a little thick too. But I'll never forget being in Texas, and this girl must have known who I was but didn't say anything because we were shopping and I wasn't wearing makeup. We were joking around about something. I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing makeup. I'm like, I just have crazy acne right now. And she's like, oh, pregnancy will do that to you. And I'm like, does she just think I'm like a mother's fat? Does she know who I am? But there's still people who are like, oh yeah, you have your baby by a surrogate, and then want to touch your stomach. And I'm like, and I just feel compelled anytime I talk about it. I'm like, oh, we're having a baby via surrogacy every single time, which is like, but the amount of people who don't understand it is, you know, a lot. But like, I'm gonna tell you about it. We're gonna work through this together. It's a quick Google. There's a million different ways to do surrogacy. There's traditional surrogacy where, you know, it would be a sperm donor and the surrogate's egg. There is the surrogate with a donor egg and donor sperm, or there's all these different ways to do it. So the way that Adam and I did it is my egg, Adam's sperm, baby in a petri dish, into awesome Jess's oven. Cook. There's no like suave way to say this. Do you think your baby will have your abilities, like be a medium or psychic? See, that's literally a fear of mine. It is. And it's not that I don't want them to develop it, but like if I could choose for my child not to be a medium, I would choose for them not to be a medium because it really scared me as a kid. If I see those abilities happening, I feel like it's going to depend on their temperament as a little guy and their personality if I will help them learn about them or develop them, or maybe, you know, try and help them close that off, let them decide when they're older if they want to dive into that world. But you know, it is something that is very deep on my side of the family. I'm talking mom, dad, everybody, but nothing on Adam's side of the family. So I'm just really hoping that he's just a little Myers and aloof to it all. When is your baby boy coming? August 27th. I remember asking Jess, I was like, usually do you have babies? Are they a little past term? Do they come early? And they're all over the board. So I have no idea if it's going to be early or late or right on. I know they're like rarely ever right on time, but like interesting. Will you share his name? Yes. I have had a lot of questions talking about, you know, if we're going to show him and share his name. And I just feel like you can figure stuff out anyway. I think maybe we'll share his name, but give him a nickname that we kind of go by for him. I probably won't put out his full name, but I don't mind maybe sharing his first name. I know even as I'm saying this, I'm thinking like, oh, but then somebody can be like, yo, come here, blank. I live in backcountry, middle of nowhere. No one drives down my road. So I feel pretty secure where we are, but I know that like there's a million horror stories. So I don't totally have the answers for you on that yet. How long did it take to pick out the perfect surrogate? So it's so weird when you hear it, right? Because you're like, oh, it sounds so impersonal. But the truth is, I think they have like a special group and they kind of put applicants out to the women who choose to do surrogacy. And one had said that they had wanted to do it. Because for me, I really wanted somebody who had done it before because I have so much anxiety, babes. And I just want a pro, you know? I want someone to be like, don't worry, I'm used to this. I know all this happened. I want to know that they've like gone through like the birth and know what it's like to like give that baby up after, you know, carrying it for a really long time, because these women are so strong to be able to do this. They put my name out into a group. Jess, who had done it a few times before, had reached out and she said, you know, we have this wonderful lady. We'd love for you guys to talk. I'll never forget. I remember it like yesterday, just walking around my pool and snapping her back and forth. And she was so wonderful. And we pretty much just clicked immediately. So it was the first person I hooked up with. But like, I think sometimes that's meant to be. I feel like that happens with wedding dresses too. Is that weird to connect those? It's usually the first dress you put on. Oh my God, did you completely plan the baby's birthday with the particular signs and when stars align? No. So we have to do these things called transfers. Sometimes the first transfer, second, third, fourth doesn't work, or you know, there can be an early stage miscarriage, there can be a chemical pregnancy because you're on a whole bunch of different hormones and stuff like that. But we were just like, let's just go, followed her cycle, put one in, see if it sticks, and it stuck, which was great. And I think an August baby is pretty cool. Their birthday's gonna fall on the August long weekend before school. Like, think of that for a birthday party, like the last hurrah before everybody goes back to school. That's sick. Is your body back to normal after all those hormones? Pretty much. The one thing that is lingering, I'm not dealing with any of my PMDD, which is great. I have been really maintaining that with different vitamins. Oh, I forgot to take my meds today. Different vitamins, and I've really leveled that out. The one thing that never went back to normal yet is my skin. My skin went haywire. It looks great right now, but like it's bad. I don't know. It's these lights. I feel like I have a lot going on facially, but other than that, like period wise, we're back to normal. How long have you thought about taking the journey that you're on now? It was new. It was like, I'm gonna reach out, I'm gonna ask. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not that I hadn't considered it, but I'm just so glad that we went the way we did. How do you deal with the pain of a messed up uterus? Because I've been in a lot of pain. I have a eucornate uterus, so where it looks like, you know, a goat's horn, mine is like a banana or a unicorn. Eucornate uterus, unicorn horn. I've never really experienced a lot of pain. The only time that I actually experience pain is when if I'm working out. Another reason to stay chubby. When I work out, I have horrible period cramps, but other than that, I really don't. I definitely know when I ovulate though. It's like a little pick, but I don't actually like feel uterus pain or ovary pain. I don't really think I actually have PCOS. Maybe. I don't know. I've never seen, no one's ever shown me a cyst in there, but I know that isn't just it. I know. Do you and Adam feel a connection with the baby, like a spiritual connection? That is one part that is really hard with surrogacy. Like, I will just be living my life and then be like, oh my God, I'm having a baby soon. Like I will completely forget, which is really crazy. Adam does this really cute thing in the morning where he lays with his eyes shut and he just like talks to him through the dimensions. And I tend to do that too when I'm in the tub. I just try and connect with him, but it's a definite different vibe. And I keep saying like I feel like a dad. I feel like Adam and I are just gonna like high five and be like, yeah, baby, when he comes out. Oh my gosh. Will you ever share videos or pictures of your baby online? That's a scary one. I will never exploit my child online. I really like to look at how Trisha Paytas does things. I like the way that she did it. Her content is not about her children at all. If they happen to be in a video or she shares a family picture, that's cool, but it's never focused on the kids. There's no content that is just about the kids. I like that. It's so scary to think about because the truth is there are so many weirdos in the world, but you know, it's a come and go thing. If they happen to pass by content, it's fine. I'm not having a camera in my kid's face and like filming what they're doing and stuff like that. If, you know, in their, you know, talkative times, if they literally have an interest or they show that they want to do something, I'm gonna like embrace their interest. But, you know, I don't really plan on having a family channel. It's still gonna be Selena Spooky Boo, but like, will there be hints of motherhood? I'm sure there will. Will you try for another one after this? The goal is 3 kids, but we want to have one, see if we like it. How does the IVF and surrogacy work in Canada? What's the process? So in Canada, you can't get paid for surrogacy, but you do get reimbursements for things. So like there's a lot of contracts, there's a lot of lawyers, everything's expensive. It's exactly what you think you're gonna be. The IVF, you either can be funded or not funded. I had a funded cycle, but I don't have any insurance because I'm an entrepreneur, so I had to pay for all my own meds. But the way it works is they go in and you get everything tested out, figure out where you are. Then you take a bunch of different medications to stimulate follicles, to grow follicles. Then you get knocked out. They send a needle up through your vaginal wall into your ovaries and they suck the eggs out. And then they can see which ones of the eggs were mature, which ones of the eggs, you know, were able to be fertilized and what did fertilize. They go in a dish, they put the sperm in them, and then they see which ones took. And then you wait a bunch of days and they let you know which ones kind of make it and don't make it. And then with surrogacy, you know, you match with somebody and then come the lawyers and you decide on both sides the asks of, you know, what supports you need, what things you're asking for. Like personally, like we were like, oh, we'd love if you could take like these kind of vitamins. And because I have a certain allergy to certain things, I'd say, can you avoid this? And you come to agreements and then the lawyers write up contracts and that's pretty much how far it goes. And then, you know, you build your relationship and you go to appointments and you're like this little baby making team. Did you know the sex of the baby before implantation? No. So this is interesting. Okay. In Canada, you can't know the sex of the baby before you do the implantation. And that is because in Canada, we have funded cycles and they don't want people to be family planning. I think it's what they said, like choosing what they're going to be or using up resources just so they can get a girl or a boy. So, but what you can do is once pregnancy is confirmed and you've had the first ultrasound, they will tell you. So I knew what we were having at 7 weeks, I think, and it was so cute. Who found out the sex of the baby first? So this is so cute. I found out that, you know, after the ultrasound, we could find out the sex of the baby. And I was so excited. And I emailed her and I'm like, we don't need to wait for an appointment. We've waited 11 years. You can send it in an email. Like, it's gonna be fine. So she sent it back in an email and Adam and I were waiting and he just calls me and I'm driving home and he just goes, don't look at your phone. I'm like, why? I'm like, oh my gosh, is it in? Is it in? He's like, yes, it's in. And I know what it is. I'm like, why do you know what it is? Because we were going to open it together. And he's like, when it showed up on my phone, like in a notification, he could see what it was. So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I'm coming home. You need to tell me. So I come into the bedroom and I'm like, we need to do something funny. He's like looking around, like we're like looking for pink, looking for blue. And I had giant underwear. Like, you know, you're like time of the month underwear. I had like a big purple one and a big blue one. He's like, I'm going to put one of these on. So he goes in the closet and he comes out and he has blue underwear on. I'm like, oh my God, it's a boy. Which my brother is having a little boy who is now born. My nephew, oh my God, he's perfect. They're about 6 months apart, so these boys are gonna grow up together and just be rambunctious. But yeah, Adam knew first. How often do you get to experience the baby kicking and will you be in the delivery room? So Jess told me that the baby had just started kicking. Jess lives hours away from me, so that's not something that I get to experience. But yes, we 100% do get to be in the delivery room, which is really cool. Again, I feel like we're gonna be up on her shoulders and then the baby will come out, we'll high five. Just kidding. Hardest part of surrogacy. What are you most excited for? Biggest fears. Hardest part is, I think it's been brought up, is like the disconnect and how sometimes it just doesn't feel real because I've been through so much and it's just like, it's like, how can this actually be happening? So that's probably the hardest part. Most excited for is just like meeting him. Like this is 11 years in the making, mister. So I'm so excited. And my biggest fear is just, you know, I've never come out of a pregnancy. I've never had an embryo come full term. So just, I dream of that cry. I dream of that car ride home. I dream of just, I can already see it. I'm gonna cry. I can already see it. I can just see me coming in and putting him down in his crib and just walking on the back deck and looking at the sun and just crying. I can already see it. I already know I'll do it. Will you surrogate pump milk or will you be using formula? So this is something I wanted to like simulate milk production, but it sounds crazy and you have to take a lot of hormones and stuff. But I looked into formulas and there's some like really good formulas in the world. And I was like, the like Big Mac milk coming out of my boobs is not gonna be as good. As for a surrogate, I want her to get back to her normal life. I don't want to have to like have those asks on her. So I don't think that we'll be doing that, but I've seen some great formulas. I kind of like have an idea for a YouTube video. They say if you like wear a pump for like a week straight and put it on like every hour, that you can like make yourself produce milk. And I think that could be a funny YouTube video. Do you want me to do that? Does a surrogate do things like take certain vitamins that you want her to take? Yes. So Jess has talked about how this has been one of her easier pregnancies because we really wanted to make sure, like any new parents, we want her to take the best vitamins, the best this, the best that. So we did so much research and we were able to stock her up with like really good vitamins and stuff. And she was absolutely down to take it too. And that's something that's really cool because you meet someone who like really quickly becomes part of your family, is your friend that you have this connection with, like they're carrying your baby. That's incredible and crazy. And we're so thankful. And then you become this team and it's like, let's see what we can do, you know? 3D ultrasound. I don't think I'm gonna do it simply because like I kind of want the mystery of it. I want to see him come out and just be like, oh my gosh, that looks like me, or it looks like Adam, which is gonna be so interesting because when I was born with black eyes and black hair. Adam was born with white hair and blue eyes. So like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. Are you gonna show the baby old cartoons from the 90s and 2000s? My favorite was Little Bear. I'm gonna raise him on it. I'm gonna raise him on that. That's my culture. That is we're talking Pengu. We're talking Big Comfy Couch. We're talking Arthur. We're talking Miss Frizzle, Magic School Bus. We're not talking Caillou. No. Whiny little bald boy. Has there been an oh shit, this is really happening moment? And if so, what is it? Yes, we had a bunch of genetic testing done and then we did like a fetal poll test, I don't know, just to rule out anything, just to be prepared for and stuff like that. And it came back inconclusive. And that was the first time that I felt like a lot of fear. I was like, oh my gosh, is he okay? And since then, everything has gone great. We've had our anatomy scan, we've had everything, and he is looking like a perfect little man. Is it dangerous to be pregnant and sleepwalk? Well, probably. I wouldn't know though, because I'm not pregnant. Will you still film YouTube videos after the baby's born? Yes, YouTube is my job, my full-time job, and I love my job. I'm hoping, you know, to eventually hire on someone who will help me maybe make my flow a little bit more smooth, you know, help with some things, but Adam's gonna Mr. Mom it, you know, and it's gonna be great. What are you most excited for and what are you most nervous for? I'm excited for the good moments. I'm excited for first steps. I'm excited for Christmas and birthdays. I'm scared of the broken arms, the weird medical things, something bad happening. Just, you know, the generic stuff. Do you believe at all that your infertility was caused by paranormal activity? I've spoken really openly in the past about that experience that I had when I was young with those two friends and that we talked to something on a Ouija board and I promised them all my unborn children. Don't know, but I feel like we probably bypassed that using a surrogate. Did you do any sort of genetic testing for fear of things from your family being passed on? Yes. So I have a lot of genetic conditions in my family. Before, you know, they take the embryos and they put them through genetic testing and they'll let you know, because some of those eggs are not viable at all, right? And why would we use those? Why would we go through that? And, you know, all of ours except for one. So no, there's 13 eggs. 2 of them were, these are not viable. And 1 of them was like, it's a little wonky. So we had 11 eggs in total. So I still have 10 eggs, 9 of which are perfect, which is really great. And we started with, you know, the top grade egg and we'll work our way down. Why not? Science is crazy. Would you have still gone through a surrogate if you used a donor egg? Yeah, I would have to. I can't carry babies to term. My uterus is not a hospitable environment. A lot of people too are like, oh, you're using these women like farm animals and you're blah, blah. I hate that. If I could do this on my own, I would do it on my own. I would. I wouldn't use up resources for people who can't have children on their own, but I am one of those people who cannot have children on my own. And I think, you know, a lot of people ask, back to the paranormal question, I have an aunt, a great aunt, who also could not have children. What I have is a genetic condition, and I'm guessing she probably had it as well. Do you gonna exploit this child on the internet? No. But you'll probably see them loosely every once in a while, but I'm not gonna be like, this is my baby. But if they're like running around or you know, like I'm gonna share a family photo. Again, I always go back to, I really like how Trisha Paytas balances her life. She doesn't make content with the kids rarely, but like she's just living her life and they're there. I really want to, it's really important to me to keep my independence and continue to just be Selena Spooky Boo as well as being a mummy. How does it work? Like, how does she get pregnant and stuff? Great question. So we went for a transfer. So she took a bunch of medications to prep her body to accept our embryo. She laid on a table. We all got in the room. They showed us a computer screen. It said my name and it showed an egg and it's like, that's your egg. And I'm like, that's my egg. And then they sucked it up in a tube and she laid down on a table and we watched an ultrasound. We watched the tube go into her uterus and they squeezed the egg out and we high-fived and that was it. Literally, that was it. 2 minutes. Boom. That's all it takes one time. Are you gonna give him a spooky name? It's not a spooky name. What are you gonna do with the other embryos? Hopefully we might, you know, maybe try and have another baby. The goal, I'd love to have 3 kids, but I haven't really decided yet. Right now they're on ice. They're, you know, they're in a freezer. It's weird. I have an odd feeling that you named your kid Jasper. I have no clue why. That was one of my favorite names growing up. His name is not Jasper, but ooh, I love the Twilight Train. What traditions are you excited to start or carry on with your family for this baby boy? I am going to be mummy with the mostest, okay? My mom was, I'm talking Christmas crack, Easter crack, like Valentine's Day crack. Everything is themed. Traditions. We're carving pumpkins. We're making cookies. I just want them to just live such a magical life where they're just like, wow, my parents made me feel so seen and special and I got to be a part of everything. And I'm just really excited. Like Adam and I both work from home. Like we are so blessed that you gave me this job that we can work from home and be with him. And I want to just see his eyes light up all the time and just give him the world. We all feel this way. Is this normal? I think I'm feeling normal. Have you had any dreams imagining what he's gonna look like? Oh God, yeah. And it is this rowdy, insane mullet child. It's like the kind of child where you're like, where is he? Oh, he's in the tree again. Call the fire department. That I am very fearful that this child is gonna be rambunctious. I'll take it though. I'm excited. I was. Has it been expensive? My sister is trying for a baby, but no luck. Oh yeah, and it sucks. There are less expensive ways to do it, but it is not a cheap thing. And it sucks because I know it just doesn't make it as accessible to other people, which is hard, but there are other ways around there too. There's like, it's like your sister wants to have your baby. It's going to be a lot smoother. You know what I mean? Are you going to let the surrogate mother and see the baby as they grow up? Yeah, I think it's important. She grew this baby for us. I'd love to share updates. I'm excited for Jess to be a part of our life forever. But guys, those are all of your questions. Thank you so much for sending them. If there's anything else that you guys want to know, do it in the comments below. Either I'll answer or I know there's going to be other people in the comments too that can answer. But if you are in an infertility journey, I love you. It sucks. I'm in a happy place now, but it sucked for a long time. And I also want to say thanks so much to Jess, our surrogate. She's amazing. Check out her Instagram. She makes really fun videos and y'all have been so nice to her. So I love that. But until next time, Boo Crew, baby time!